All right. Good evening. This is Hard Talk coming to you every Monday at 10 p.m. from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Welcome again. And tonight we have with us Daren Despois from Mauritius. And Daren is a master's student in counseling.
That's correct.
In Kuala Lumpur, and his topic for his master's dissertation is masculinity. So we thought it would be a good idea to ask Daren, who is a very good friend, to maybe come and tell us what it means to be a man. So Daren, welcome. I'm very happy that you could make time for this.
Thank you for having me, KH. I'm very happy to be here with you.
So I was going to ask you, I mean, your course is counseling, and I suppose you have kind of like wide choice of what you can choose as a topic for your dissertation. So why masculinity?
Okay. Well, like you said, there's always a wide choice of topic when it comes to writing your final year dissertation. But masculinity was a very particular subject close to my heart, because I remember struggling for a number of years to figure out this big question: what does it mean to be a man? And for me, I never really had the chance to sit down and talk with other men and ask them, hey, so tell me what does it mean to be a man? So, like a lot of people, I guess, I found my so-called answers online. There are so many influences out there about what does it mean to be a man, or what should a man be like,
or not be like,
that it became very, very confusing.
Yeah, I think it's very strange that such an important aspect of life, we actually don't get any guidance from anyone. It's the biggest kept secret you should know, or nobody tells you, no? Yeah. So so tell us what you went through. What were some of the ideas of being a man, and not specifically, but how did you find the opinions out there?
Well, maybe a little bit about my background. I was brought up by my parents in a way that allowed me a lot of exploration in life.
Right.
So in some manner, I was never really formatted to think in a certain way, but very much encouraged to think in my own way.
Oh, okay.
Right. So that prompted me to go and start exploring. If you ask me about what I heard about what is in the manosphere.
Well, I like that, manosphere. Okay.
Manosphere. What I've been reading has been very Western influenced.
Right.
So, for example, as a man, you're supposed to be aggressive. You're supposed to be assertive. Of course, we all know that belief that men should not cry. Men should be on top of their emotions. I am defined as a man based on, for example, how I perform in the bedroom, or how many women I can get. So in these ways, what I've noticed much later on is that my value as a man is based on how well I can perform my gender as a man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a very performative nature to being a man.
Right. And how does that make one feel? Or how did that make you feel, this need to perform?
The word that I would use, if you ask me just for one word, that would be inauthentic.
Okay.
So I studied psychology. I am doing my master's, which means that very soon I will be seeing clients.
Right.
The nature of the job requires me to be very in touch with my emotions. So how does that actually align with this ideal, and I use this word very lightly, this ideal of what it means to be a man in that nature.
So that idea you refer to is that men don't show their emotions or
Yeah, that's
or,
one part of it. Yeah.
so did did you have a change of perspective on this? Is there an alternative view to what's out there, that performative definition?
Yeah. So for me, it used to swing from one end to the other. So I would either perform in a very masculine way, or I would embrace that gentler, more nurturing side of me.
Mhm.
And it would usually be going from one end to the other. Yeah. But it never really felt like home.
Okay.
The change happened for me, the shift happened when I joined CFE, Coaching for Excellence, and I got to be trained as an ontological coach.
Right.
Now, the great thing about ontology is that it is definitely not performative. It is all about the ways of being. And it happened during one of the mentor clinics that we had in the course, where I got to coach someone in front of everyone else.
Mm.
And in that moment, for some unknown reason out there, I decided not to perform as a coach and just be the coach. That shift of stopping to do coach, stopping to do man or do feminine, whatever you want to call it, and just be. That was the shift.
So how do you work out what is masculine or what's feminine today? How do you see it?
Well, before answering this idea of what does it mean to be a man, the question for me would be, what does it mean for you to be you? And when I think about that, I think of all the ways of being, or all the traits that exist out there that could be what I choose to be.
Okay.
Common knowledge is that, or rather common assumptions is that if I am masculine, I'm supposed to behave according to certain traits. For example, being aggressive or being dominant. And if I am feminine, it means I am more gentle, more loving, caring, nurturing, you name it.
Submissive, things like that.
Yeah. So the issue here is that this is a very overly simplistic way of looking at how we can show up in the world. And we're talking about absolutes. So on one hand, we have masculine. On the other hand, we have feminine. And this goes back to the idea of I swing from one to the other. My interest is in the space in between.
And are you saying that you resolve this swing by looking at what's in between?
Yeah, looking at what is in between without the imposition of any label on that. Okay. Whereby masculine or feminine, you can see that as potential label, a box in which I fit.
So there's no denying, as you say, there's certain traits identified as masculine and certain traits are identified as feminine.
Yeah.
So how do you play with that? How do you reckon with that?
To me, there is always a possibility of two seemingly contradictory, let's call it, traits to exist in the same person. For example, I can be loving in some situations and aggressive in some other situations. Both are a part of who I am. And with that, it does not define or imply anything about me as a man.
Okay, so if you are, let's say, gentle,
Mhm,
which is a more feminine trait, let's say,
mhm.
um, it doesn't make you any less of a man.
It does not make me any less of a man. And if a woman, let's say, is more the aggressive side, I believe it does not make her any less of a woman.
Hmm. Okay.
Mm.
So what was the experience when you kind of detach from performative? That
Mm.
means it depends on what you do
Mm.
to, it doesn't matter what you do, it's about who you choose to be.
Yeah.
So what's the experience of shifting from the do, the
Mm.
performative,
Mm.
to the being?
The thing about performance, right? It's that you can either succeed, it's either a success or a failure.
Okay.
So we go back to very dichotomous
Mm,
absolutes again.
mm.
Yeah. But when you simply be, I experience a sense of freedom, a sense of agency into setting the path I want to take.
So, yeah, so you don't have to have a checklist that
Mm.
you need to fulfill
Yeah.
just because you're a man.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that, how do you see this distinction between the performative and the freedom, if I may use the word, or agency to be? How do you see its effect on people out there? Or let's say, as you go into counseling, your patients, how do you see that at play in coaching and counseling, and its effect on your clients?
Well, there's a sense of coming home, which is what I mentioned earlier. This idea of home to me is about being authentic and being real to who you really are. Yeah. Formative can be as much for how you're perceived by the eyes of others and how you're trying, how I was trying to fit some kind of box, some kind of model of what is right in being a man.
Okay, so perhaps you could describe, one could say that performative is kind of like an external standard that you feel you have to go along with, because in any society or community, you know, be a man, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and men are, yeah, and that you found to be inauthentic in the sense that it's not you. It's something you have to do.
Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
You work in corporate, you have KPIs to hit.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's a more definite example. Yes.
Yeah.
So
you can be hitting your KPI and still feel very miserable inside it.
Because you are focused on your performance, or you perform at the cost of not being yourself.
You perform at the cost of your well-being.
Okay.
I know for a fact that during MCU, when I was working in corporate and really chasing down for these results back then, yeah, okay, fine, results are results, but man, the cost that it came down to my own personal well-being wasn't worth it. It just wasn't worth it. Yeah.
So that was a place where you had to be masculine, is it, and aggressive and all that? Is that
aggressive? I would say, yeah.
Yeah. So that aspect of it was
it's
costly.
Aggressive, go-getter, and there's no time for emotions, no time to talk, just get it done.
So that's like swinging to the masculine.
To what is commonly associated with the masculine, yeah.
Okay. So when the external becomes more important than who you are, that's when you have that
and it becomes a beautiful lie that we get to tell ourselves. be it whether we hit that performance as a man or as a woman or as an employee.
It doesn't matter, right? It's just have the same, would you say stress or the same?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got results.
Yeah.
What for?
Okay.
Mm.
So how does that play out with your clients now? How do you see that some clients will benefit from this distinction?
Mm. My clients as a coach, which is very interesting. I'm talking about masculinity, but my clients as a coach are actually women. And for me, the same principles apply. Earlier, we talked about what does it mean to be a man? And if you ask me, what does it mean to be a woman? I would tell you
Same
it's the
answer.
same. It's about what does it mean for you to be you?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the conversation about why I coach women aside, I believe that there's a universality behind that question.
Right.
And I believe it goes way beyond what it means to be a man or what does it mean to be a woman.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have it. And what do you see? What effect can this have? Let's say you brought up a corporate example. What effect can this have if people in corporate were to look at things the way you just explained? And in the way that you say it goes beyond masculinity and femininity. So what do you see can happen in the corporate world for the better, let's say?
It begins with seeing people for the fact that they are human beings with their vulnerabilities and their strengths. It's the idea that people don't have to fit within any box that we want to put them in,
Right.
by virtue of things that may not be within their control. It's promoting an environment where you can be free to be you, irrespective of some perhaps outdated expectation of who you should be.
Actually, I think you're right to say outdated, because for the longest time it's been KPIs without regard to the individual.
Yeah, to the human behind that.
Well, I'm not sure all corporate bosses will agree with that revolutionary sounding approach. And maybe we have time for that in another talk. But today we see that what does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to a woman? Really resolves down to
what does it mean for you to be you?
And I think with that, each of us can claim a precious personal freedom and a return to home, as you say.
Returning to home. I like that.
So thank you, Daren, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And for this rather profound insight that I think is just going to lead to further exploration of other things.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much for being with us. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. And I hope you found Daren's insights and useful. And perhaps if you want to get in touch with him, do so and continue this conversation. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again in Hard Talk every Monday, 10 p.m. from Kuala Lumpur. Good night.